simple, actually, because he created you as a sinner because he loves you and he hates sin.
The church is lying to you about the nature of sin. Hi, my name is Maddie Mae Modal. I'm a Bible scholar specializing in gender and sexuality, and I grew up hearing messages just like this one, where sin is characterized as you personally doing something that makes God mad. Like God has a cosmic or divine rule book, and you have to follow all of those rules by the letter, or God's gonna be pissed and he's gonna send you to hell. Not only is that fucked up and confusing and completely mischaracterizes God, but it's also just an incorrect reading of the Bible. This individual moral failing perspective came from post-Enlightenment individualistic thought and judicial atonement models that envision sin as a personal debt to God, when sin is actually characterized as a cosmic power in Scripture, something that affects the lands that we live in, the air that we breathe, the water that we drink. It's not an inherited biological trait that each person has to wrestle with on their own individual terms. Think about it this way. One person is born in a white, middle-class American family with good, upstanding moral values. And then you have a kid born in a completely opposite circumstance. That kid is going to be naturally disposed to things that we might consider sin. A hungry and exhausted child is much more likely to exhibit harmful behavior to themselves and others than a child who is fed and safe and cared for. So does that mean that the child with a higher ACE score than the other is just as culpable for their sinful behavior as this other child? With an individualized perspective of sin, I can't make sense of that. But if you read the Bible in its historical, communal, and apocalyptic context, then I think we can start to make sense of some of these complexities. A lot of our ideas of sin and what sin is and how to deal with sin come from the writings of Paul. And the Eastern Orthodox fathers were really good at understanding and comprehending Paul's apocalyptic vision for the world. And a part of this is not seeing sin as something that you individually are culpable of, but it's a system of corruption that all of us inherit when we're born. In this reading of Romans, the fall ushers in the cosmic powers of sin and death, and the only person able to defeat these cosmic powers of sin and death are God. And this defeat was achieved through the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And this resurrection looks forward to the time that all people will be able to inherit the reward and gift of a resurrected body. And because there's absolutely nothing we can do to earn that grace, the only possible way that we could respond is by maintaining a relationship with God through faith. Faith is not simply a belief or a confession. It's a community-wide commitment to maintaining the covenant with God. In this sense, the church's vocation is not about saving or reforming isolated souls. It's about the liberation of the cosmos. So next time someone tries to give you a sermon that sounds like that, I want you to tell them, that is just not biblical, sis.